Hey everyone, how's it going? Jason Pacheco here with Matt Reddy, as always. Millennial Real Talk episode 12. How's it going, Matt? What's going on?
Pretty good.
How was your week? Any real estate stuff happen?
Yeah, we had an inspection for a buyer I've been shopping with for a little bit now.
How'd that go?
Yeah, it actually went really well. Multifamily in Coventry. Won't give away more than that, but yeah, it actually went really well. Even the inspector we don't normally use. Buyers chose the inspector. He was good. That it did help. The house was in really good shape. Stuff like that. So he as we're walking around, he kept saying, this house is in great shape. So I was like kind of happy about that. But
how long was it?
The inspection
for a two family?
3 family.
Inspection for a 3 family. How long was that?
Yeah, it ended up going 3 hours. Yeah, it was a little bit longer than some of our normal ones, but it was good. He was thorough. I mean, the previous owner or still owns it. We're not at the closing table yet, but he really took care of the property. I mean, I've been through a number of multifamilies. You've been through a bunch. I mean, you haven't seen this one.
Was there knob and tube?
No knob and tube. He had all that replaced.
I actually talked to an electrician today.
Yeah.
And I had some 5 minutes just chit chat with him, and he said what happens a lot with the multifamily with knob and tube wiring. They'll just get an electrician to go in there, just remove what's visible in the basement, and that's it. He goes, That's super illegal. He goes, then I asked him, how much does it cost to do it the right way? He said between 20 and 40 grand.
20?
To do it the right way. Get rid of every single piece of knob and tube in the entire house and rewire everything.
Okay, so the inspector, maybe he updated some parts or had an electrician cover up some, because the guy said, there's no knob and tube in here, so I don't...
Or maybe the seller did it, or the previous seller did it, or whatever happened, it left.
Yeah, who knows, now that you're saying that. Yeah, I mean...
And who knows what's behind the wall.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know how, But,
you can't see,
Yeah.
You can't go behind the wall. Yeah, I mean, even in mine, I don't know if... Hopefully my insurance company's not watching this,
I had myself a week. I had, and then I think I said in the 2 podcasts ago or so, saying that the market's changing. There's going to be a lot more negotiating, and realtors need to play fair and nice, and because a lot of communication back and forth. And it started with me. Client got an offer accepted on Thursday. Buyers kind of took their time, I'll admit, getting the purchase and sales agreement signed. Now that's Thursday. Now we're at Saturday. The buyer sent me a piece of paper, just like a notebook paper, ripped out of a notebook, handwritten verbiage he wanted me to input into the purchase and sales agreement. So in Rhode Island, a purchase and sales agreement is pre-filled out. It's kind of just fill in the blank. It does the job. Everyone in Rhode Island does it. He kind of uses that.
Yeah.
He hand printed out on a piece of paper his paragraphs he wanted me to insert in here somewhere. And that's not common practice in Rhode Island. So I advised them, that's going to scare the seller most likely.
Yeah,
seeing all that.
What was it?
Subject to this, subject to that, fancy wording for just a bunch of stuff that's kind of already in the contract, but just a bunch of different rewording things in his way, because he was a retired attorney and he wanted that.
Okay.
So he goes, go ahead and do it anyway. So Sunday hits. He sent that Saturday night. Sunday morning hits. I forwarded it to the list agent, here's where we're at. And she goes, we actually price reduced the property. We didn't want to wait, because we all accepted an offer on Thursday. It's Sunday. We had no contract, so here's a price. We did a price reduction. So I went back to my client and said, hey, they actually just price reduced the home. They're a little worried you weren't going to come to an agreement because they didn't hear from us. Now they heard from us, and there's a bunch of stuff we're requesting. So the sellers were upset. This is ridiculous. We're going to have our seller's attorney. Now they want to get their attorney involved to review this wording that they can't dissect on their own, which I don't blame them. And so from Sunday to Tuesday, back and forth. All right, they think it's a lot of verbiage. Delete this one and keep this one and keep that one. The seller's like, no, let's delete it all. There's no need for this. Well, if we're deleting it all, then we're going to back out. Just a whole bunch of crazy stuff back and forth. We finally all agreed on the contract. He did get to keep some different wording in there. Sellers are fine with it. All of a sudden, the seller goes, finally, it's all done. She goes, oh, I didn't know you wanted, it's a 2-family. She goes, I didn't know you wanted this place completely vacant. This just changes our offer. I'm like, no way. I'm like, this was disclosed up front. Thought you knew it. No, I didn't. But luckily it worked out. That was behind me. So started Thursday, ended on Tuesday. Then today, I experienced the most strangest closing experience of my career yet. So it started with the buyers of mine tested positive for COVID. So we were able to set up the closing to be outside in a parking garage downtown Providence, so everyone's outside. So that's already odd, different, not traditional. So whatever, 8:30 a.m. final walkthrough in Exeter, Rhode Island, and we go into the home and there's no electricity. So of course my buyers, myself, like, what the heck? We got to address this. Then we go into the basement and there's water in the basement. And now we're like, what the heck? That wasn't like that. The home inspector didn't say anything about water in this spot in the basement. My buyers are very upset. And so we leave the property, and I told the seller's agent, hey, we're going to head to the closing because we do have an appointment to close on this home. But there's these 2 issues here that we're going to need to address. And we just left it at that. My buyers drove to the closing. I drove to the closing. Get to the closing. Outside in the parking lot. And my buyers have COVID. They don't feel good, right? COVID's supposed to hit pretty hard. So, of course, the real estate attorney doing the closing, half hour late. So now my buyers are in the car. They're like, I feel so sick. I'm going to just leave. I can't sit here. I don't feel good. I need to go home.
Yeah.
And, the other buyers like, no, let's stay, she'd be here soon. Just hang in there. She's not feeling good. He's like, come on, just stay in there. It was just standing by the car outside waiting for this guy to show up.
Yeah.
Guy shows up. Boom, I have a game plan. Here's what we should do. Here's what I normally do in every transaction. We're going to do this, 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 and this. Have this money held back, do this, have someone go there, look at it, boom. This real estate attorney that I'm not going to mention names didn't want it, didn't want to have it. He's like kind of one of those, my time's too valuable, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this, I'm going to go back in my office, I don't have time for this, figure it out.
And just to be clear, like what we're doing, just holding money back in escrow, this is pretty standard. I mean, this happens, right. Hold the money back in escrow, fix the problem.
Right. I mean, there's no electricity, so of course,
it's a normal thing, is just what I'm trying to say.
He didn't want to have it. So he's like, so we don't have a deal. We're just going to tell the sellers we don't want to buy it. No big deal. We don't have a deal.
Yeah, that's beyond, for people watching, that is beyond weird. Normally they're like, oh, damn, let me talk. And they put it together, figure it out.
It's not even a matter of, these buyers obviously want to buy the house. Yeah. They obviously want to move in.
They're in a parking garage with COVID.
Yeah. They want the house. Yeah. Can you problem solve and not just call it off? They want the house. If by you saying that, they're going to be so upset. But if you resolve the issue, they're going to be happy. So I'm like, hey, I know I mentioned this from the get-go, but what do you think about this escrow holdback now? That's between you and the sales agent. I don't know. Just like that. I don't know. I'm going to go back on social media on my phone. So I'm like, all right, let me call the seller's agent. Seller's agent, first, there's pushback. Oh, that's ridiculous. We're not doing that. And I'm like, hey, so you want my buyers to take the word of your sellers saying they fix the electricity and just buy this home and move forward and write the check? No. They want to verify it's all set. And if it's verified it's all set, they'll move forward and you can get your deposit, your escrow back.
That's the point of the final walkthrough, too.
Right.
Like when you buy it.
So sellers agreed to it. We'll do it. So at that point, the real estate attorney's like, I'm going back in my office to write this up. I'm not going to be outside. I'm going to go back in the office. So I called an electrician that I use for second opinions, anything electrician needed.
It was crazy you got one out there. When you told me that, I was like,
it was literally 11. The closing was at 10 actually, 10:30. So it was like 10:45. Call the electrician, hey, by any chance, are you free? Can you drive to Exeter right now? So he lives in Cumberland. So Cumberland to Exeter is probably 50-minute ride. 15, not 15.
Yeah.
And he goes,
it's not close.
Yes, I'll do that. I'll be there in 45 minutes or so. Great. So now we have an electrician going to verify the electric is not an issue. Now there's the water in the basement still. So we, as the buyers and I, agreed, let's have the home inspector go back out there and just take a look at this and see what's going on. Called the home inspector. Hey, it's a huge emergency. Can you help me out? And he goes, yes, I'll be there within 2 hours.
Yeah.
Boom. Home inspector's out there now. I drive back to Exeter. My clients stay in the parking garage. Electrician goes in there. No problem. No problem. Good. Home inspector goes in there. It's coming from the bulkhead right here. I think it's coming from the bulkhead right here. It's not a major concern. And he's like, I even believe on the report that I did the first time around, I said water's coming from this bulkhead. So just confirming, it is that issue. Great. So it's not a big deal. Buyers are fine. Drive back to Providence. Give them the key. They close. All done. So that's amazing. But what a crazy morning. So that just goes to stress how real estate agents, how important it is to have a network behind you. If you have an electrical problem, someone you can call right away. If you have a plumbing problem, someone you can call right away. If you're an inspector, someone that will drop everything and come close to dropping everything. I didn't want anyone to, I don't expect anyone to say mid-inspection, oh, gotta go, Jason Pacheco's calling you, so important.
No, obviously.
But people that just make things happen, and those guys did. It's so important as a realtor to have a network. Make sure you have people behind you, that a fence guy, pool, anyone you need, make sure you have a nice team behind you.
Yeah, because if they didn't show, I mean, you don't know, this could be going on till tomorrow or the next day. Also, too, I think, with the network, having a good real estate attorney.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe it's just, so I use pretty much one. I have two, but one same real estate attorney for everything. I know how he works. He knows how I work. I know if this issue comes up, he'll have no problem holding these proceeds. He'll take care of it all for me. It'll be all set. No worries. But now I'm going to unfamiliar territory. I didn't know how this guy does business. I know from working with other real estate attorneys, they hold back money. Will this guy do it for the clients? I hope so. Yeah, and at first he didn't want to. So that would have costed the deal. They would have not bought the house today if I didn't speak up 2 to 3 times saying, escrow holdback. And then all of a sudden he could do it. It's like, why didn't you at first? I don't get it. I feel like I just don't get that part. But like you said, it is important. Then again, to just add that we don't use loan officers. We don't get money kickbacks saying, hey, I really recommend you use so-and-so. It's not because we're getting paid. It's because they get the job done. And this is the perfect example.
Yeah, because the clients, I mean, you don't have to say, but the clients, did they choose that attorney?
I think so. No, I think they had some history.
Yeah, so that's the perfect example of sometimes the clients can choose, and I mean, that happens. We do business with people we know can get the job done, are flexible, can move on the fly. They can handle things that come up and problem solve, not sit in the, on the parking lot on his phone on social media. Like that's ridiculous. I mean, you could, if you told your clients that, they would have just been like, what the heck what do we even have you for? Right. Like if you just sat there scrolling, what would be the point of you? I mean, so yeah, I think that's ridiculous. I would definitely, it's good to have a real estate attorney. I honestly too, me and Jay, sometimes we agree on this, but I think as not all of them, but attorneys or even anyone, as the age gap starts to, because I don't know how old this guy was, you didn't tell me, but as the age gap starts to, I say separate between the two, sometimes I feel like I can't really have a conversation with someone that's 50. I'm 29, you're 20, 26, 27. Yeah. Like sometimes it can be harder to have a conversation. That's for me personally, like attorneys. And I feel like that also younger is better.
Yeah. I mean, a few things happen. You get older, you get older, you get, I don't need, they don't need more business. They're happy. They're at the end of their career. They don't really need to please go out of their way to make things happen because they're retiring soon. Their career is almost done. Yeah. Also, I feel like that maybe me being young, they feel like, look at this young kid. He doesn't know what an escrow holdback is. What does he know? I've been doing this for 40 years. What he probably his fifth deal.
Drives me nuts. Yeah. That attitude. I can't even. Yeah. Keep going. But wow.
No. Yeah. So I think as you're saying, age gap. I think that also happens. In anything you do in life, you get tried to. Someone older will try and take advantage of someone younger because they feel like they're either this guy's not confident enough to speak up to me, or this guy doesn't know what he's doing, and that does hurt. That does happen, and I do hate that.
Yeah, I do. Even on the listing side of it, I deal with that a lot when you get an offer accepted, and then you send over the purchase and sale, and then they're like telling you, well, you got to remove this and do this, and I'm like, you sit there and you're like, not that I'm not gonna, if we need to remove something for a reason, that's fine, but I don't need someone to boss me around. It's not like, you know what I mean? And they're usually, again, if it's someone like closer to my age, there's usually a conversation, we talk it out. But again, as it gets older, as people get old, the age gap and
Like,
they start talking down, they give you the little,
my son.
Yeah, I'm like, it's just, I personally, I don't get along with, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, even when I used to work at my dad's store, just starting out, hey, usually your father gives this to me half off when I buy it with this. And I'm like, what?
That sounds interesting.
Let me ask my dad. No, don't worry about it. You have to go out of your way to help him. I'm like, yeah, that does happen. And it's just like, I'll ask my dad. He goes, no, that guy's full of shit. He's just trying to take advantage of me, thinking, oh, yeah, sure, scan, give it to you.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah, that's why I don't like, obviously, like, there are, some of the loan officers we deal with, they're not significantly, but they're older and they're fine. So it's not all of them, obviously, but it's just, we encounter it here and there, and it can be tough. We're trying to get deals done, and they're just making it a lot more difficult. Especially like that, to me, that issue, like you just explained, that sounds like something very simple. I mean, we've had escrow held backs, a million times before. So, I don't understand that. Maybe just, got in trouble at work with his boss or something. I don't know. Like having a bad day.
Yeah, so that's that. It's going to be behind us. It's been tough, as a real estate agent, any other real estate agents out there watching, it's like our job's 24/7. When we're sleeping, our mind's not really doing real estate. But man, lately I feel like, I put the girls down to go to sleep. I'm not much of a TV person. What else do I have to do? So I started thinking about real estate on the couch, on my phone. What can I do? Listening to blogs. And it's like, I get myself worked up. Then I go to bed, wake up. Oh, it's morning, time to go back to work. Well, let me start thinking of real estate. And then my mind's always, it's not like I can't just walk away from I leave my office, go home, work's done. If I get a phone call at 8 a.m., I got to answer. If I don't, at least I got a phone call. I hit voicemail. I'm at work already. So that being said, I mean, is there anything? I know you've been doing BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Matt. So I know you've been doing a lot of that. You go to the gym, keep your mind off it, and.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's important for, real estate agents, but anyone in general to, have some hobbies. And like, I like to work out, and I started dabbling in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. For those of you that don't know, it's a martial art, self-defense. It's on the ground. I've probably been to about 15 classes. I did a white belt. I did a white belt tournament. A couple of rounds.
Brag a little bit.
Won a couple rounds, but basically, I'm not really that good. It's really fun. I think a lot of people should at least try it. You did it for a little while,
I did.
Too.
I went to Henzo Gracie's. They were in Johnston, now they're in Smithfield for probably 4.5 months. Thinking about getting back into it.
Yeah, I think about I think it's something that's fun to do. What are your overall thoughts on it?
Because
basically, just for people that don't know, like you're basically just like on the mat, and the goal is, systematically to just like choke the other person out, and you're just wrestling on the ground. That's the, I guess simplified way of putting it, right?
Hurt someone enough to make them say stop.
Yeah, you're just going at it, trying to, no strikes or anything, but it's pretty much the.
Yeah, so it was interesting. So I first did it 6 months before my wedding. I'm like, I want to do something that helps me get a little more in shape, look good, feel good at my wedding. I did it, loved it. I went like 3-4 times a week. It's a toll on the body if you start going more than 4 times a week.
Yeah, I would say twice a week. But yeah.
So it's interesting. You sweat so much. It's such a crazy workout, as you all can imagine. It's not like an hour. It's an hour and a half training session.
Yeah.
I didn't lose much weight, and I didn't change my eating. So I ate the same. Joined jiu-jitsu, didn't lose much weight. Wondering if maybe it was some muscle growing too, which kind of offset it because muscle's more than weight and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it. It gave me confidence. I was in the best shape of my life. I felt flexible. It was cool. It was really good. And I'm looking to get back into it for the reason to again find a space. Just when I remember, man, when I used to go on the mat, I didn't. When I'm rolling with someone, I don't think of never once would I think of real estate while on the mat.
Yeah, it's just like if you do, you're gonna be.
It's a blur.
Yeah,
it's just like you versus this guy, and all you're thinking of is where you are in comparison to him and who has the better position. You never even pop in. But as soon as you get your backpack on and you change, then you're like, all right, wait, where am I in life again? Oh, work, real estate. All right, picking back up where I left off.
It's definitely a good way to blow off steam.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you really can't replicate it. It's definitely a toll on the body. I mean, if I go twice a week, I'm pretty, man, my arm, everything hurts. I think that just comes with starting out from what I'm told. Again, we're not that good. Maybe I'll just speak for myself, but
trust me, I'm no good.
Yeah. So it's a good time, but, yeah, what do you think? Like, I mean, as far, the other thing too is like, I think when I first went in there, so my cousin's been doing it. Shout out to Isaiah. He's been doing it for like probably 4 or 5 years. So I had some idea when I went to the first class, but you go in there and,
it takes guts to go in there.
Yeah. I
was so stressed out going into my first. Yeah. Shit. Here I go.
Yeah. Cause like, you don't like the other thing too is like, guys are like, I'm over 200 pounds and I'm like a little over 6 feet. Like you go in there and you think like, you see guys that are like a little smaller and you're like, oh, this will be like, and then you go in and, they end up just really tapping you out or, it's just, it can be kind of like, holy crap, this is not what I expected. I guess depending on what your expectations are, but yeah, it's a good thing. I think everyone should do it. It helps you, and honestly helps you have better conversations too. Like, I really think it gives you the confidence to have conversations with, agents and, people that are older than you, in your line of work, stuff like that. It just gives you that confidence to, have difficult conversations. Right. So
I agree with that.
If you think about it, if you can, if you can wrestle with other grown men, you could probably just, have a difficult conversation. That is my opinion.
100% agree with that.
Yeah, that's my take on jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Trying to stay more consistent with it. I'm fairly inconsistent. I know you kind of took some time off. Yeah. Like, I've been like, twice a week, then I go no times the next week, then twice a week. It's just kind of like, it depends.
But you're always at the gym.
I'm always at the gym, so, got to blow off some steam somehow. So,
all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching episode 12. Next week's episode 13. Again, if you ever want to join the podcast, let me know. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Thanks for watching.